After Ajax's astonishing 2018-19 season that took the footballing world by storm, especially due to their run to the semi-finals of the Champions League, people were predicting some of their star players are headed out the door to some top European clubs in the summer transfer window. Speaking of which, the two Dutch wonderkids, Frankie Dion, has already left to his dream club of Barcelona, and with De Ligt's transfer to Italian champions Juventus being all but confirmed, it's time to see what life is going to be like without De Jong and De Ligt at Ajax. What does the foreseeable future hold for the Dutch champions? Well, we're gonna have to find out. Hey guys, how's it going? BCHD here and welcome to today's FIFA 19 Career Mode Challenge. Before we jump into it, let's take a quick look at the challenge objectives. So here are the 5 challenge rules and objectives that we need to complete in this video. Number 1 is that obviously De Jong and De Ligt must be sold in the transfer window. They gotta be transfer listed, they gotta be headed out the club. Number 2, we must replace them with 2 marquee players in the January transfer window. Number 3, we have to discover and produce the next big Dutch talents through the youth academy system. Number 4, we have to win some silverware with Ajax, including the Eredivisie Dutch Cup, and try and make a little decent run into the Champions League. And number 5 is that we have a 3-season time limit to try and complete the challenge. Let's get into the video. So at the start of season 1, this is how the side is looking like without De Jong and De Ligt in the side. Obviously, we need to strengthen at the centre back position and the central midfield position. 2 key areas which need major improvement after those 2 departures, but the rest of the squad is looking a little bit solid. Maybe a backup right back in there, but we're gonna have to do all of our business in January. Let's hope the squad can cope without these 2 stars in the starting 11. But as promised, both players are going straight to the transfer list. We have to get rid of them and sell them, and I'm not looking forward to doing so, but it's part of the challenge. And in order to continue Ajax's legacy of scouting the best next Dutch talents and producing them in their youth academy, we're gonna go ahead and set up a scouting network in the Netherlands and see what we can find in 9 months. I'm sure we can get a few high potential wonder kids, high potential youth academy players, so we'll keep you posted throughout the video. Alright, first cab off the rank, and Frankie Dion, we finally get an offer in for him. It's come from Bayer Leverkusen of all clubs. Considering he went to Barca in real life, this could be a really big deal for Leverkusen, but we're gonna go ahead and negotiate, try and get a higher fee, and see how much we can get for the midfielder. 51.5. Alright, let's have a go. Let's see if Bayer Leverkusen not willing to pay that extra amount. Okay then. Alright, here's the big one. Matthias De Ligt, the 18-year-old. Juventus have come calling just like they have in real life, and they've come in with an offer. We're going to try and get a higher fee for him, see how much we can sell him to the Bianconeri for. 75 million, I reckon. Let's see how much we can get for the big centre back. They are going to go for 55. They're lowballing hard at the moment. 65.5 mil. Come on. Oh, even Juventus aren't willing to pay up. No club's willing to pay. I'm just probably going to have to accept the next few offers that come in for him. Alright, this time it's the citizens. Pep Guardiola coming in. Forward Matthias De Ligt. We're going to try and get a bit more money from him. I know Man City have got a bit of cash to splash in the bank, so let's try and get as much as we can. Like I said, we're going to replace these guys in January, so I want as much money in the bank as possible before January comes. Let's see if they'll go for 72.5. Come on, Man City. Pay up. 66 mil. Come on, Man City. Come on, Pep. Hand it over, and he's done so. Matthias De Ligt, he's headed off to the Premier League, and it looks like the clubs with the cash have come in for our young stars here. First Man City, and now PSG for Frankie De Jong. Let's try squeeze as much money out of them as possible. We're going to go ahead and try get a bigger fee for him. 62.5. Come on. Pay up. Pay up. There we go. PSG go ahead and accept that too. We're just going to have to wait and see if these go through now. And it's all but confirmed now. 1 down, 1 to go. We've successfully sold De Ligt to Manchester City. He's off to the Prem. He's off to England, but not to Manchester United, to the other side of town. And we've gotten a decent amount of cash for him. He will be missed, but it's 1 big sale down, 1 to go. And brilliant. De Jong's transfer talks broken down. Just what you want to see. PSG have pulled out the negotiations. That's a big shocker. So it's a bit of a different venue from PSG or Barcelona, but Frankie De Jong has gone off to Benfica. He's off to Portugal for £60.5 million. We came to an agreement with them, and they seem to have no problems with paying that fee. And now both sales are complete, and the 21-year-old is going to Ligue 1 challenge objective is down. So an interesting transfer to say the least, but good luck to him. So that's the side going into season 1. We're going to simulate to January, see how they're doing, and then we're going to go ahead and replace the 2 Dutch stars at Ajax. We've got about 172 million to replace them and spend in January, so it should be fun. Let's see how Ajax can cope with life after De Jong and De Ligt. Alright, so they seem to be doing without De Ligt and De Jong pretty well here. After the departure of their 2 main stars, they're in 3rd in the Eredivisie. However, they're only 2 points away from top of the table. PSV, Feyenoord just 1 point ahead of them. It seems to be tied at the top. It's going to go down to the wire, I'm assuming, but they still have not lost a game yet. They're still invincible in the league, 9 wins and 8 draws, so I'm pretty pleased with how the lads have gotten on here. We're still in the Dutch Cup with a game up against Feyenoord in the quarterfinals, the Orange Becker. And in the Champions League, we still managed to prevail, with Benfica finishing bottom. They're the team that took De Jong from us, so obviously he hasn't helped them in the Champions League, but we finished 2nd with 10 points. Bayern on top. We're going to face Man City, the Lit's team now. We faced Benfica, De Jong's side, and now Manchester City in the round of 16. You can't write scripts like these. Our boys are coming back to haunt us here. Well, look what our youth scout has brought to us. Literally a like-for-like replacement for De Ligt. 88 to 94 potential for Lorenzo Jacobs, a 16-year-old centre-back from the youth academies, worth 500k already. He could literally come to the senior team right now. We're going to let him stay for a bit. Actually, that's the next De Ligt right there. Let's just sign him up. 16 years of age. Let's see how he looks like. And we've promoted him to the senior team. He's got potential to be special. That's De Ligt right there. He's taking his number 3 as well. Oh, he's got 4-star weak foot, 3-star skill moves too, 6'2". That is a solid looking youth academy player right there. Lorenzo Jacobs, welcome to the first team of Ajax. So our first piece of transfer business here at Ajax is going to be replacing Frankie Dion with Lazio's Serbian midfielder, Sergej Milinkovic-Savic. We picked him up for a pretty significant fee of £70 million. The 23-year-old now makes his way over to Ajax, and I'm sure he can dominate the midfield for years to come and guide us to some silverware here. Now at 86 overall, he's slotting straight into the starting 11, and the De Jong replacement is going to come in with a lot of hype. And in terms of a Matthias de Ligt centre-back replacement, we've gone after a player that used to play for Ajax a few years ago, Davinson Sanchez, coming from Tottenham Hotspurs. We've brought him back in order to help us in the Netherlands, and now the 22-year-old Colombian has joined us for £42.8 million. He's going to slot straight into that centre-back position, and I absolutely love that for him. He's going to become a star here for Ajax, and I'm happy we pulled off that move. Davinson Sanchez, welcome back to Ajax. So we still have around £53 million left in the transfer budget, and considering it is January and we still have money from both De Ligt and De Jong sales, we're going to try and improve the team in a few other areas. Maybe another midfielder, maybe a right back. We're going to have a look on the transfer market, see what we can pull off, and hopefully get the side strong enough in order to win some silverware in season number 1. Let's see what we can pull off. So our third signing of January is going to be another central midfielder, and this time I feel like it's a perfect Ajax signing. A nice young prospect that can grow and develop their career here in the Netherlands. It is going to be Gedson Fernandes, the Portuguese midfielder, 20 years of age, coming from Benfica. Benfica took De Jong, now we're taking their Gedson Fernandes. He's probably been one of my favourite midfielders and players this year on career mode, and we've taken him to Ajax. Hopefully he can show the world what he's made of here in Holland. So the right back spot was a position I said we needed to go out and strengthen, and we've gone and done so here with the arrival of the Spanish right back Alvaro Odriozola, coming from Real Madrid. We activated his £33.7 million release clause, and I'll take that. The now 23-year-old, 82 overall, he's going to slot straight in, and I think our squad's looking pretty good now. Here is how the side line up going into the second half of the season. All our signings are going to be starting Gedson Fernandes and Milinkovic-Savic in the midfield, Sanchez at centre-back, and Odriozola to the right of him in that right-back position. And that is a side that could go out and win this Eredivisie title without De Ligt and De Jong. And we also have De Ligt's youth academy replacement here in Jacobs on the bench. So that's going to wrap up our January business. 4 signings in to replace De Ligt and De Jong. Now we pretty much got no money left. Let's see him to the end of the season and see how the lads can get along. Well, that's not what we wanted to see come the end of the season, but we've lost out the title to PSV, our bitter rivals here in the Eredivisie, and they've beaten us by 3 points. Very unfortunate considering we only lost 1 game throughout the whole season and they lost 2. We knew it was going to be down to the wire come the end of the season. That's got to be heartbreaking, man. However, though, it is bittersweet as we have gone on and won the Dutch Cup, the Orange Beker. I have no idea how to pronounce it, but we did defeat Utrecht 3-0 in the final. So that is one silverware objective down. Now we need the Eredivisie and a really deep run in the Champions League. We're going to take a look at how our Champions League campaign did. Obviously, we're facing Manchester City. It's Liverpool and Atletico Madrid in the final. And yeah, we lost 3-0 to Man City in the round of 16. The LIGT went on to defeat us and come back to haunt us. But then Man City lost in the semi-finals anyway. So he didn't go on to win the whole thing. So I'd say it's a disappointing season, but at least we ended up getting our hands on one piece of silverware. I think next year we're going to focus on the Eredivisie in the Champions League and yet again bolster the squad in the January transfer window. So in our second season here in Ajax, in life after De Jong and De Ligt, we get £56 million, but our hunt for the next new youth academy stars here at Ajax continues with Danny De Jong. We're going to give him another chance in the Netherlands and see if we can get the next Frankie Dion. We're going to set him up for 9 months yet again and see what we can find throughout season number 2 in an attempt to tick off yet another challenge objective. But this is aside, going into season 1, we're not going to be able to strengthen until January as part of the challenge rules, but I think this side is going to really do well in the first half of the season. I have a few transfer targets in mind, so we're going to see how it pans out for the boys. Alright, so this is more like it from the lads. Halfway through the season, and we're currently sitting pretty on top, 2 points ahead of the winners last year, PSV. We're on top of the Dutch league. Obviously, it's a very tight top 4 there, with Fortuna Sittard sitting in 4th, only 4 points behind us. It's going to go down to the wire again, just like last season. But now in January, we get to strengthen our squad even more. We're up against AZ Alkmaar, I believe, in the quarterfinals of the Dutch Cup. So let's hope to get a decent run in there. And in the Champions League, we got a pretty nice group there with Atletico Madrid, Dinamo Kiev, and Salzburg. Obviously, Atletico Madrid went out the group on top, undefeated. We had 4 wins and 2 losses, getting 12 points, and we're up against Spurs in the round of 16. Yet another hard English opponent we have to face here. And we haven't had much luck with the youth academy. Our youth squad isn't looking too great. We've only found a left midfielder, and yeah, it's not a central midfielder like Frankie Dion, so we're gonna have to keep on grinding it out in the youth academy. Well, I don't know where we got this extra money from, but I guess it's time to grind out some deals. It's time to get negotiating. Let's strengthen the squad. Let's bolster the squad and win the league and go far in the Champions League this season. Let's get cracking into the business. So our first signing of season 2 is going to be a backup attacking player, and it's an actual player that has signed for Ajax in real life in the summer transfer window. Quincy Promes, I still got no idea how to pronounce this guy's name, but the 27-year-old left midfielder has come from Sevilla. He's gone back to his homeland in the Netherlands, not only in this FIFA career mode challenge, but in real life too. We've picked him up for £32.5 million. He actually looks quite decent, 83 rated now. He's 28, so a bit on the older side, but he's a very quality player, and like a lot of you have already seen, we've gone ahead and picked up yet another Dutch talent. It is Stephan Devry coming from Inter Milan. He's back in his home nation as well. In season number 2, we've prioritized the Dutch signings, but for £35.5 million, yet another kind of older player, 27 years of age, 85 overall. He's going to bring some wisdom to the back line, and who's probably going to be our captain here at the club. But yeah, Devry and Proms, welcome to Ajax. So that is how the side is looking going into the second half of season number 2. We're going after the title. We're going after a decent run in the Champions League, and Devry is going to be the captain as promised. Our second signing in Proms is going to be sitting on the bench, but he's going to be a very good player coming off it. It's going to be a super sub for us. That is actually a fantastic team in my eyes. I think the boys can go far this year. Let's sim ahead to the end of the season. Oh my. We win the league on goal difference or head-to-head. I have no idea how we won the league, but we've done it. And we actually won the league on the last day of the season, beating PSV on the last day, meaning we were behind, and we won that game away from home 1-0. to come out on top. Like I said, it was going to be close, but I didn't expect it to be this close, to go on goal difference or head-to-head, but we've ended up winning it. We've literally done the exact same thing, 25 wins, 7 draws, and 2 losses as PSV, so they are pretty much our main contenders here in the league, and we've completed yet another silverware objective here at Ajax. So the league was close, and even the Dutch Cup was close. We won a 5-goal thriller, 3-2, and yet again, it was against Utrecht. Feel sorry for them, but we win the Dutch Cup 2 years in a row, so it's the Dutch Dutch domestic double for the Ajax boys. Life seems to be pretty sweet after the Ligt and De Jong's departures. However, in the Champions League, we get eliminated in the round of 16 2 years in a row, this time to Spurs 3-2 in aggregate, so it was a bit closer than last year, but I think that's going to be our main focus for season number 3. Try get as far as we can in the Champions League. And the search for the Frankie Dion Youth Academy product continues, as we do have a central midfielder here, but he's not that great, so we're going to continue searching in season number 3. So I didn't show this last season, but our main stars this year were Kasper Dolberg, the Danish striker, getting 28 goals, being our top goal scorer. Dusan Tadic still killing it at 31 years of age, getting double figures in both goals and assists, the same as Van de Beek. Milinkovic-Savic living up to the billing there. David Neres getting 9 goals and 2 assists. Hakim Ziyech getting 12 assists and 6 goals, which is pretty decent. Huntelaar at 36, still getting 5 goals. It's very impressive from him. Jetson Fernandez doing his part as well. And we continue on down the list. Davinson Sanchez getting a goal in there. Jacobs, our De Ligt replacement, growing up to a 68 overall. Quincy Promes not doing as much as I expected, but he did come off the bench. Yet again, we're going to strengthen the squad up in January. I'm so keen to get this third season underway. And I don't know why, I feel like this is the closest thing we're going to get to a De Jong replacement, so we might as well sign him before the challenge ends. Marvin de Vries, the best central midfielder we've been able to find so far. We're going to sign him up to the first team, as well as this centre forward we've discovered, Joshua Vermeulen, just for no reason. We'll just get him in the first team as well. And Van der Meer too, we might as well give him the promotion to the senior team. So we're using the youth academy to our full potential here. And there they are, the new boys. Welcome to the Ajax first team. Who knows what the future holds for them, but it's yet another challenge objective ticked off the list. The youth academy replacements are in. Obviously Lorenzo Jacobs being the big one here, the De Ligt replacement, but we've continued on the legacy of Ajax's brilliant youth academy system, and I'm proud of it. So it's Champions League or bust in season 3, and we've ended up getting out of the group stage. We're into the round of 16, this time against a bit of an easy opponent than Spurs or Man City by Leverkusen. No disrespect to them, but we finished up in second in a group with Napoli, Genk, and Kiev yet again. We never can seem to top these Champions League groups, but we always seem to find our way out of them, and we've got Leverkusen in the round of 16. However, it's not looking too good for us in the league this year. We're currently sitting in third, 11 points behind PSV, who continue their dominance in the league. However, we've already won it, so we're not really focused too much on it. And in the Dutch Cup, we're in the quarterfinals up against back-to-back finalist Utrecht. So that is how the side is going to be looking going into the second half of the season. I'm going to look to get maybe a striker and a backup centre back or a midfielder. So let's see what we can do with how much have we got. £78 million in January. So we wanted a new striker, we've gone and got one, and this time we've done a bit of a negotiation here. We've activated the £34 million release clause in Joaquim Correa's contract, but considering he was worth well over that with 41, it's a bargain pickup there. The 26-year-old centre forward is 85 overall, a very decent first team player. He's going to start for us in that striker position, and was actually one of Lazio's best players this season in real life. I personally love him as a player as well. He's going to help us in our charge, in our run towards the Champions League final. So welcome to Ajax, Joaquim Correa. And our second and probably final signing of the window is going to be a backup slash squad rotational player, the German defender Thilo Kehrer, coming from PSG for £35.5 million. A solid little player in there, 24 years of age, and I feel like he'll fit great into this team in case anyone gets suspended or injured. But welcome to Ajax, Thilo Kehrer. But that is the side going into the third and final season. A very strong starting 11. I think they can go further than the round of 16 in the Champions League. We're going to have to find out though. Let's pray that the boys can get along fine and we can go ahead and complete the challenge. It was just written in the stars, wasn't it? We're up against Benfica in the Champions League quarterfinals. It's the first leg, the home leg. We're going to go ahead and simulate it from here. We beat out Leverkusen in the round of 16, but it was just too perfect of an opportunity to miss. De Jong, is in there, but Odriozola gets us a goal. I just saw the Kehrer injury. It's bad because Tagliafico is injured. He was the replacement for him. Correa gets us the second. Hopefully De Jong doesn't come back to haunt us here. We're going to skip it, and it's a 4-1 win. Pizzi gets an away goal for Benfica. We're off to Portugal next for the second leg. I mean, surely we won't cop a massive away day defeat. All we got to do is just defend our 4-1 lead we got at home. Surely we can progress through. Benfica win 2-1. De Jong fails to score against us, but it doesn't matter because we're through to the Champions League semi-finals just like Ajax did in real life. And just like Ajax's semi-final run this year, they got matched up against English opposition in Spurs, and we do exactly the same thing, but get matched up against English opposition in Manchester United. We're going to go ahead. We got the home leg first, which is a bit of a disadvantage, but let's hope we can get a bit of a lead here. If we can do it against United in the semis, surely it is our year to go all the way. We're going to skip it. United get the 2-1 lead. They get 2 away goals as well. It is not looking good for us. We might fail in the semi-finals just like Ajax did in real life. Well, it's not looking too bright for us going into the second leg away at Old Trafford, but we're just going to have to see how the boys do. Literally all our left backs are injured, so Woba is coming in there to replace our left back, but let's see how we can do. Away at Old Trafford, and we get the 2-1 loss. We go out 4-2 on aggregate to United. Not as heartbreaking as that Spurs defeat, but still that one's got a sting. Lukaku and Herrera with the goals. Van de Beek gets us an away goal, but it's not enough. And it was Manchester United that ended up taking out the Champions League as well. They won 3-2 in the final against Juve. There is where we got knocked out. We kind of recreated Ajax's run this year. However, it wasn't quite the final, which we all know they wanted to get to. And the heartbreak continues here. We ended up losing the cup after our 2 years in a row of winning it. So yet another close cup final there. Let's see how we did in the league. Oh, and it's heartbreak yet again. We came so close in 3 competitions. Season number 3 is by far our worst performances just in terms of trophies and stuff like that. But we lose out to PSV. They get their revenge on us from last season. So PSV are just taking these W's. That is the squad we've been able to create after 3 seasons in the Dutch capital. I'm very proud with our work here. I'm very proud with what we've achieved, what we've accomplished. But despite all that, life after De Jong and De Ligt is looking very bright for Ajax. After selling their 2 main stars, I'm sure the future will still be looking good for them. I'm sure they'll be able to compete in the league and in the Champions League next season, so there's no need to worry, Ajax fans. But this is how the squad performed this season. Milinkovic-Savic, Dolberg killing it yet again. Van de Beek doing alright. Ziyech the Moroccan, the mercurial Moroccan, doing okay in there. Quincy Promes, Ajax's new signing in real life, who they can look forward to this season. Joaquim Correa I thought would do a bit better than that. Only 3 goals and 1 assist. Tagliafico doing alright. He got injured though. Odriozola getting a bit of game time. The squad is looking very, very bright. That has been the live after De Jong and De Ligt challenge with Ajax in FIFA 19 career mode, guys. I hope you did enjoy. We managed to tick off all our objectives this season, despite not getting to a Champions League final. It was supposed to be tough, and it actually was. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. Let me know down below if you want to see any more of these type of videos in the future. Hit the big like button if you did go ahead and enjoy. Subscribe down below for some more FIFA 19 career mode content. We're on our way to 20,000 subscribers. Turn on the notification bell while you're down there. Follow me on Twitter. The link is in the description. I've been BCHD. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the very next video.